So here we have Don and Kayla. Today is Thursday, and sometimes on Thursday we like to do something different, whether that is hill work, hacking, cavaletti work, groundwork. Today we're choosing to do some playing around with surefoot pads. These pads are created by Wendy Murdoch of the Murdoch method, and they help horses with their proprioception. I've seen some pretty incredible changes in horses after working with the pads. So we'll see what we see today with Don. So first of all, we're just observing how he's walking, what is going on. Kayla's giving him a long rein where he gets to choose his own frame. He gets to choose what he's doing. Obviously, our first goal is, can we get a nice relaxed horse, which I think we have him pretty relaxed here. So I'm not unhappy with this. So I'm very curious to see what is going to happen when we put him on the pads. So let's give that a try. So here we are. I just put Don on the first set of pads. These are the orange pads, which are the firmest. And I've just put them underneath his front feet. And now we're just going to see what we notice. Do we notice any change in breathing, change in posture? What do we see? Okay, so he starts chewing a little bit there on the bit. That is a change. He's moving his neck around. That is a change. Sometimes they move their neck around and they feel a little different sensation underneath their feet. I've seen horses start to sway from one foot to the other just to kind of give themselves some input from these pads. I don't know if Don is choosing to look to the right because it's quite windy out and he wants to see what's going on out of the windows up there. Could be part of it. Nice licking and chewing again. And there his breathing changed a little bit, and there was a movement in his tail that I think we haven't seen yet. There, another breath. Good. Good boy, Donnie. So, and I think it's time to put some pads underneath his hind feet and see what that does for us. All right, so here we are again. I just put him on some different pads. This is how he chose to stand on them. He did not want any pad underneath his right hind. He is comfortable with the one underneath his left hind. Clearly, the right front is standing a little funny, but that's where he chose to stand. I tried to help him be more square on the pad, but he didn't want to. Left front, he was very comfortable there. So these pads are the soft ones on the front, and I put a medium squishy on the hind. So now we see what we see. A little bit of a sway. Yeah, a little bit deeper breathing. There, he starts to kind of sway a little bit again. And this can really help also activate the horse's thoracic sling, which is the apparatus that their body basically is hung up in the front quarters of the horse. It's a sling created of muscles and tendons and ligaments that holds the rib cage in between the front legs. And this is a very important apparatus because it helps us elevate the withers. It helps us get the horse to pick their back up. Well, doesn't help. It is what picks the horse's back up. It is what picks the horse's withers up. So it's an important apparatus in general, but also in riding to strengthen and to be able to activate. And with this horse in particular, he is one that always is willing to have a fairly high head and neck carriage. So we're always encouraging him to stretch down more so that we can get his withers more up. And, oh, that was interesting. He really flexed his chest muscles there. See if he'll do it again. Might not do it again, but I do think he's holding the ground stronger. I do think he's pushing a little bit more up already in his shoulders. And that's interesting that he's looking all the way left again. It's interesting that he does it only left and not right. And interesting because we know this horse very well. Left bend is typically harder for him. So this might give us some feedback if he has this particular support or gets his balance just right. And there's a nice lick and a chew. And the lowering of the frame. Nice. So it's very interesting to me to see that he is by himself choosing to bend left and exploring what he's capable of doing there. So I think that is also generally in training, we should try to show our horses what they're capable of doing with their bodies and challenge them in a fun way, not challenge them in a you have to do this kind of way, but we make it a challenge so that they can be proud of what they can do with their body. Just like us going to the gym, if you work out and you work out a little harder than you thought you could, you become quite proud of yourself. Interesting. So he's not quite ready to walk off yet, but he was kind of dumb with that left front. He still wants the right front and the left hind. So that is in line with what we saw before. He pushes a little harder with the right front and the left hind. And this is just all observation. And we will do a follow-up video maybe in a week or so and see, has anything changed? Is it still the same? How does it relate to what we felt during the week? And what feedback are we getting? Now this is Don that just walked off of the pads. And I think in comparison we can see he's even more relaxed. He's even softer in his frame. His shoulders move a little freer. There's a very nice overtrack in the walk. His tail carriage is very nice. I would say we're very happy with this relaxed walk to start out a ride. And he seems very calm in his mind. Very relaxed horse.